Hazur, he wants to know, according to Surah Al-Kahf, a number of people were mentioned along with their dog. He wants to know the significance of the dog in the...
Just the dog or the number mentioned?
Both.
Third or fourth or fifth? What are you talking about?
I wanted to ask about the dog.
Just the dog?
Yeah, because the numbers vary from one ayat.
This verse which you have raised is a very profound verse in its message, and it has to be discussed at great length as to the possible meanings of all these. But the dog symbolizes the faithfulness of this creature to men, to humans. And in itself it's a lesson for the whole world to take. So the way the Quran describes the dog of Ashabe Kehef, number one, it gives the message that whatever the Muslim world's apathy towards dogs, or in some places abhorrence towards dogs and its mixing freely with people is concerned, Allah Ta'ala in the Quran does not support that, because the dog there is mentioned with a good quality of the dog, in which he not only sits guard over Allah's pious servants, but also symbolizes the goodness of the animal itself. Otherwise, these things go hand in hand. So it's not just mentioned that a dog stood guard, but it also speaks of the God's characteristics, that he is a very faithful person, animal, and as such he stands a symbol of faithfulness from which humans should draw their lessons. That's one reason why the presence of the dog is highlighted. The second is historically important, and is important by way of a prophecy, by way of guiding where you will find such Ashabi people later on. In all the world, dog is still respected and kept as a companion by Christian people all over the world, not by others. Nowhere in the world you will find such deep affinity between humans and dogs as you discover it in the Christian world. So in this way, many messages are delivered, that if you want to know where these Christians spread all over the world, who were the offspring of these people, the presence of dog will indicate that, and the treatment of dog will indicate that. So all over the world, if you search wide, far and wide, you will find no exception to this rule, that dogs are highly prized and most kindly treated in the Christian world, which seem to have their forefathers being those Ashabe Kehef. The second thing is, that elsewhere, it is exactly the opposite of what we find in the case of Christian world. For instance, in China, there are no dogs. They're eaten, all of them. Finished by eating them. So, this is the attitude of the rest of the world. And in Pakistan, in India, everywhere, stones are raised at them, and poets write about them, یہ گلیوں کے آوارہ بیکار کتے کہ بخشا گیا جن کو ذوق گدائی. A great Urdu poet, Faiz, writes, these wayward dogs of the streets who have been granted the love of begging, they beg everywhere for a piece of bread or so. They roam about in the streets with no honor, no position in the society which they inhabit, except for this cruel treatment where they go on begging for a piece of bread or two. This is not the state in Christian countries. Everywhere dog is treated differently. So this Quranic statement is very profound by way of a prophecy as well. How right the Quran was, that the dog will be given a special place in the society of Christians, while no other will be dog treated like this. So this is a sign of the truth of the Quran as well. Got it? Please. Just a little ago I was intrigued to notice that your and my breathing pattern is in absolute harmony with each other. Because I saw the rise of your tummy a little bit when you breathe. And exactly that was the time when I breathed. And when you exhaled, I also exhaled. So it was fascinating to see this harmony. And we were talking of harmony between your friend Aman and Messenger of Islam's deep dedication to Rasulullah when he said that Qasida. So that made me notice this harmony. It is just incidental, it's not important, this harmony.
Yeah.
But why I thought of it is because of that Qasida.